Howdy y'all, this is Ginger Ninja 024 from Ginger Ninja Station, signing in on my new channel, my solely anime channel. So, for my first video series, I will be doing my top 25 favorite anime of all time. For this video, it is only going to be 25 through 11, for the sake of time. Every anime I watch, I judge on five criteria: story, character, visuals, execution, and music. I do a 1 through 5 rating system for each, and for this video, we will be going from 25 to 11, from lowest to highest. There is also the fact that each anime can have a +1 point in each category. So even though it's a 1 through 5 rating system for me, I allow it to be able to have different categories, have 6 points. So if I thought the story in a certain anime was absolutely phenomenal, I rated it a 6. So some of them go over the 25 point threshold. Also, remember that this is biased and based on my personal opinion. Now, let's get on with the video. So, coming in number 25 is Chihaya. It is a sports romance anime about a competitive card game called Karata. I gave it a total score of 21, and I thought this show was absolutely phenomenal. The animation was great, the story was great, the characters were great. I felt like that execution with the whole romance part of it could have been done a little bit better, so I ended up not grading it full marks on that. I thought the music could have done a little bit more, so I graded a 4 on music as well. But really, this show does phenomenal at most everything it does. Like, if you're looking for a good sports anime, drama, romance, anything like that, this is your show. So, yeah, there we go. And the next one is World Trigger. And I only place this above Chihaya because of my personal enjoyment, I guess is what you would call it. This got a 21 as well. I enjoyed the protagonist. I enjoyed the side characters. The characters are part of what won me over in this show. I mean, your main character isn't the best at anything. He's not the smartest. He's not the strongest by any means. But he puts in hard work, and he strategizes and spends hours in his planning. This is a great shonen show, and I'm super excited it actually got renewed, and I was able to watch season 2, and that it has a season 3 coming out. This show does so good on all fronts, and I am so glad that it is continuing, because this is a work of art, and it is definitely one of my favorite shows of all time. And then we have Problem Children Are Coming From Another World, aren't they? And this one is once again rated with a 21. It does what it does phenomenally. This show has your overpowered main character, but it's not just that one guy that's overpowered with like a harem of girls and crap. The girls are overpowered too. All of them have their special abilities and special powers, and they're all powerful. They are in this new world, and it's a world of games. It's kind of similar to like No Game No Life, I guess, in a way, except for I enjoyed this so much more, and this one really needs a lot more hype because it deserves the attention. It's really unfortunate that it only had one season, and there was more source material to go. And now we have Kaze no Stigma, taking the number 22 spot with a grand total of 22 points. This show was my number 1 anime for a little while. I loved this show. It came out in 2007. It is the second oldest show on my top 25 list. And yes, I have watched older shows, and I do like them, but none of them are in my top 25 other than Kaze no Stigma. Well, very few. And Kaze no Stigma just does so well. Its characters are phenomenal. It has an overpowered main character, which I tend to like that as long as it's done right. And it does that right because he's overpowered, but you still have fights where you don't know what will happen. You're still on the edge of your seat. You have one of the most likable lead female characters and a phenomenal romance to go along with the show and the plot. Lovable side characters and just an overall amazing show. I love this so much, and it has some of the best quotes in all of anime. Then we have Tokyo Ghoul taking the number 21 spot, tying Kaze no Stigma. And honestly, if I had watched Kaze no Stigma more recently than Tokyo Ghoul, they might have been flip-flopped. But Tokyo Ghoul, I just recently watched. And this show is it's phenomenal. I've not read the manga, so manga readers that hate on Tokyo Ghoul, go ahead and hate on Tokyo Ghoul all you want. I read manga too, and there's times when it's like, oh my god, this anime does so bad. I get it, trust me. But I've not read the manga for this, and I'm gonna not read it because of the fact that I love the anime so much and I don't want it getting ruined. Because this is one of my top anime of all time. You have one of the most twisted characters serving as your main character. He didn't start out that way, but after he got tortured for so long that his body literally lost its nutrients and his hair turned white, yeah, he's a little bit messed up, and it's so crazy. It's just such phenomenal writing. And the anime may not have portrayed it nearly as good as the manga did, because I went and I read about it, like, on Reddit and stuff like that, and there was a ton of people upset, but I still thought the anime portrayed it really well. And I still love this series so much, and that is why it took a spot in my top 25 anime and took the number 21 spot. Following the dark and twisted Tokyo Ghoul is another dark anime, Wonder Egg Priority, with a grand total of 23 points in the number 20 spot. Wonder Egg Priority has a lot of mature themes about suicide and self-harm, and if it wasn't handled properly, this show could have been really bad. But the fact of the matter is, they were done so well. I was entranced by this show. I'm not even kidding. This very well may have been my number one anime of this past season. I don't know how many seasons ago it was, but whenever this show came out, there were a couple good ones, but this was up towards the top for me. Like, I love this show so much, and the way they handle the mature themes they put in this show while not making it too dark was so good. Even if the ending wasn't the best, the flight to that ending was phenomenal, and I love this show for it. And in the number 19 spot, with a grand total of 23 points, is Devil's a Part-Timer. This show may have tied Wonder Egg Priority in score, but it is not equal. I loved this show so much. It is the only comedy-focused show in my top 20. There are other shows with comedy in there, but no, the comedy in this show is so good, and they just handled it so perfectly. The execution in this was beyond perfect for me. Like, they executed the comedy scenes in there. It was flawless. It never seemed like a forced bit of comedy. Like, it didn't feel like they had to break the fourth wall to jump out of a cage to make you start to laugh. Like, it all flowed so smoothly, and I loved it so much. Then we have Alderman on the Sky. Oh my god. Okay, so this is a military fantasy. That already suits my style of show so much. But then they added a protagonist that's just incredibly smart, and he uses that to win all of his battles, and I was sold, okay? I was completely sold. This anime was so good, and it completely deserves its position on this board. The number 18 spot was owned by this show with the main character's moniker being the lazy invincible general, but having never actually having to fight. He just uses his brain to do everything. It's, oh my god. If you've not watched this show, what are you doing with your life, okay? Like, you're missing out. Go watch this show. Like, stop this video, go watch this show. And then we have Fruit Basket 2011. This show is beyond amazing. This was like my introduction to this genre of anime, and oh my gosh, I am so happy that I chose to watch this show, because I am sold. Like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to watch this. I put this on my watch list because it was rated high, and I had a friend tell me, hey, you should check out this show. And I saw the name and was like, I might. And then I read about it and I was like, I don't know if I want to. But then I started running out of shows to watch, so I was like, okay, I'll watch a couple episodes. And I was like, ooh, this is good. So I continued watching, and oh my god, this is one of the best shows I've ever watched, and it completely deserves this number 17 spot and the grand total of 24 points. And then we have the number 16 spot, and it's Black Clover. I am a Black Clover fan by so much. Like, I love this show. I love this show so much. Okay, the characters, the story, the visuals, the music. Like, it's all just so perfect to me. The execution, oh my god. So this is a 24. Without it being above and beyond in a certain area, the max you can get is a 25 on my grading scale, basically, okay? So, I like Black Clover a lot. To me, it feels like a better version of Naruto. It has a better rivalry. It has, for me, more lovable side characters and characters. I can actually ship these characters more than I could have ever shipped the Naruto characters. No hate on Hinata, but are you kidding me? Sakura? No. Like, be gone, okay? Black Clover. Yes, okay? I like Naruto, but Black Clover's got it. And Naruto is in my top 50 anime. But Black Clover deserves its spot in the top 20 and the number 16 spot. And then, of course, we have another shonen. In the number 15 spot is My Hero Academia, with the same score as Black Clover, and it was so hard for me to decide which one to put over the other, but I eventually decided My Hero Academia just because of, like, the hype factor I feel in the arcs that are happening right now. And I know Black Clover is getting into a huge arc, but so is My Hero Academia. And the fact is, I've read part of the manga going on, so I know what's coming. And that is literally the only reason My Hero Academia is above Black Clover, because they are both so close and they are both so good. Like, these two are my favorite shonen right now. Like, they're both airing and they're both amazing. Like, I love both of these, and it definitely deserves its number 15 spot. And then number 14 is Saga of Tanya the Evil with 25 points. This show was so good. I got hooked on this show. It is one of the only anime that I have went and I watched its movie in the theaters because I wanted to know what was coming up and what was happening next. The parallels between the World War and Saga of Tanya the Evil storyline are amazing. The characters, oh my god, don't even get me started on our MC. Like, really? Like, oh, I've been reincarnated, but I don't believe in a god, so I'm not calling you God. Not now, not ever. You are being X. What? Like, what? Like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. What? This show just turns so many things on its head, and it does it so well. And then we have Kono Oto Tomore in the number 13 spot, also with a score of 25. But unlike Saga of Tanya the Evil, it didn't have an execution low with a character having a 6. points. It was perfect scores all around, and that's what had me put it above Saga of Tanya the Evil. This show was just the perfect music anime to me. Everything was done perfectly for me. It was phenomenal. Okay, like the story was great, the characters were great. This show did everything I wanted this show to do. And that is why it is in the number 13. And you've been waiting for it. The other shonen that everyone knew was coming. Demon Slayer, okay? Kimetsu no Yaiba is one of the best anime of all time. And in the number 12 spot, it has earned its place. With 25 points, it has another perfect score. But it isn't perfection all fives all around. Personally, I think that its story is lacking in comparison to what it could be in certain cases. Like, not to get me wrong, it has a great story, but that is not its biggest selling point. Okay, people come to this show and they see a good story with outstanding visuals, okay, and that is the same thing I saw, and it still earned a 25, and it still earned a high place, but it is not the best. It is yet an amazing show. And then for the last anime of this list, in our number 11 spot, Haikyuu, my highest ranked sports anime on this list. Well, traditional sports anime on this list is Haikyuu. It's the normal trope: fail in the summer tournament, come back in the winter tournament, and get to nationals. Aim for nationals through the journey. Watch the short guy do his best and continue to grow with his team. It's the normal tropes, but they do it all so well. Like, you see these tropes all over. This does the tropes, but it does it the best out of any anime I've ever seen. Like, any sports anime I've ever seen. This show is the perfection of those tropes. Like, this show is the pinnacle of those tropes. And you can tell me I'm wrong if you want, because I actually prefer basketball anime in general, because I prefer basketball. So, like, Kuroko no Basket is another one of my favorite sports anime of all time. But in the end, Haikyuu still comes above that, even for me, because of how well it does everything that it is supposed to do. And I love this anime so much for it, and that is why it is in the number 11 spot. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this content, go ahead and press that subscribe button, turn on your notification bells, and smash that like button. Part 2 will be released soon. My top 10 through number 1 anime. So, once again, thank you so much. You all have a great day or night wherever you're at. Peace out.